Something about the man in yellow feels wrong. Not just because of who he is, but because it feels like we've already seen him before. And after rewatching From, I started noticing details that honestly changed the way I look at the entire show. Tiny background moments, people staring too long, strange clothing patterns, and one scene in particular choosing day might secretly prove that the man in yellow has been in the town from the very beginning. Not hiding somewhere far, but hiding in plain sight. Most villains in From are straightforward. The monsters hunt, they manipulate, they terrify people physically. But the man in yellow feels completely different. He doesn't just feel dangerous, he feels aware. Like he understands the town on a deeper level than anyone else. Almost like he's above the rules. And that's important because the show keeps hinting that there are layers to this place. The creatures outside at night might not even be the real threat, as Martin suggests. There could be something controlling everything behind the scenes, and if that's true, then the man in yellow might not be just another monster. He could be an architect, the observer, or maybe even the thing the town itself answers to. That would explain why his presence feels so unsettling even before he fully appears. The show treats him differently. The camera lingers longer. The atmosphere changes around him. And now fans are starting to wonder if the writers have been planting clues about him since season 1. Now let's talk about the scene that changes everything for a lot of fans, choosing day. At first, the scene seems unusual. There's tension, confusion, people trying to survive and make decisions. But in the background, there's a figure that stands out once you know what to look for. A man watching Boyd closely. Not speaking much, not drawing attention to himself, just observing. And here's another theory. And here's where the theory gets interesting, sorry. The clothing pattern connected to the moment looks strangely familiar. Fans notice similarities between the checkered design seen on the scene in that scene and the patterns associated with Sophia's dress. That might sound small at first, but From constantly uses visual symbolism. The show rarely put details on screens accidentally. Colors matter, objects matter, patterns matter. So if two separate characters are visibly linked through some similar clothing or design choices, that could be intentional. And this leads to the biggest theory of all. What if the man in yellow can shapeshift? Or at least disguise himself as different people throughout the town? Well, we already saw where he shapeshifted into Sophia, so there's no question there. But what if he could shapeshift into other persons in the town and we didn't see? That would completely change everything we think we know. Because suddenly background characters aren't just background characters anymore. Any random person could actually be him watching events unfold. One thing that keeps coming up in those theories is Boyd. The man in yellow seems deeply interested in him specifically, and honestly, that makes sense. Boyd is a person constantly trying to challenge the town. He searches for answers, he pushes beyond fear, he refuses to completely break. If there's really a higher intelligence controlling everything, Boyd would naturally become the biggest threat, and maybe that's why the watching feels so personal. Look at him, guys, watching Boyd, seeing if he could probably make him his replacement. Who knows? Think about how many times Boyd experiences strange encounters compared to everyone else. It's almost like he's being studied, tested, observed. The town reacts to Boyd differently, and if the man in yellow has been present since the beginning, then maybe he's been tracking Boyd's actions the entire time, waiting for something or preparing Boyd for something bigger. Hiding in plain sight. Guys, I think the show is hinting that maybe the man in yellow wants Boyd to be his replacement. What do you think? I am just a watcher and an observer, just like you guys who's watching the show, and we really enjoy the show. But just let me know what do you think in the comment section.